You can feel the energy, can't you? So far, 1.2 million people have watched that video alone. You were listening there to Austin Hendrickson on social media. He's known for the Training Tall, Just Row and Tall Fit Life platforms. Training Tall for a very good reason that we'll establish in just a second. He's a motivational speaker, ebook writer. He's just launched the latest of his online programs to help you get fitter and more flexible while also losing weight. Who better than to get us motivated for the new year than live from Sacramento, California? Hello to Austin Hendrickson. Austin, hello. Welcome to the BBC.
Hey, Tony, thanks so much for having me here. This is such an incredible opportunity, and wanted to wish you too a happy late birthday.
Yeah. Oh, thank you very much. Yes. So, yeah, I was 61 on Saturday, Austin. There's not much bending down and touching my toes from me at the moment, I'm afraid.
No, it's never too late to get that, though. That's the beautiful thing. It's never too late. We think it is, but then we just start taking the small steps that it takes to get to whatever the goal is, and you'd be surprised at how quickly you could get there.
Yeah, I must admit. So I do a bit of stuff. I swim. I swim pretty much, 5 days a week actually, and I love it. But I guess, Austin, one of the things you need to do is get people thinking about keeping fit, because often they don't, do they? As life goes on, they find other things to busy their time with.
That is kind of how life goes. Is after we finish school, we settle into our careers, we start families, we kind of put our fitness on the back burner. And, we don't really tend to see the negative impacts that can happen from neglecting our health, our well-being, really until we get into our later years, like our 40s, 50s, and 60s. A lot of the times, though, we think that maybe it's too late. But like we just said in your scenario there, we can make very small, very, very sustainable approaches to our current lifestyle to start working towards living a longer, healthier, happier life. And it doesn't have to be as complicated and overwhelming as sometimes it might seem.
There've been quite a few initiatives in this country. We had one that the BBC backed actually called Couch to 5K, which was designed to get people off their sofas and eventually running a 5K, which loads of people got involved with. Now it's debatable whether they carried on after that, Austin. That's the key thing. What interests you in making people healthier? Why have you got involved?
Well, I think we all try to find our own passion and purpose in life. And one of the beautiful things about taking charge of your own fitness and health is not only does it have, incredible long-lasting benefits for you, but the lifestyle change and energy change that you have in yourself, that spreads to other people too. Your coworkers, your loved ones, your family, your friends, they see what you're doing. They get inspired to do something. And there's so much research showing how exercise can have a variety of cognitive benefits and just help us be more productive and be better members of society. And so I think just, playing a small role in that, trying to, do what I can with the power of the internet to try to spread a positive message and, again, demystify the complicated and overwhelming, seemingly, hard stuff that exercise looks like it can be, to help make it seem pretty straightforward and to help you benefit yourself so you can help benefit others in the world too.
And it's
like a chain reaction.
Yeah. Are you aiming at amateur sports people, or are you aiming at those people who might sit on the sofa watching movies?
That's my primary target, because I think that encompasses most of the average person. And I think, there's definitely the right people in the right place for high performance sports and, becoming the absolute best at your sports specific endeavor. But I think at the end of the day, most of us are just trying to find something that works for us. Because like you said, we can start the Couch to 5K program. We can even complete the Couch to 5K program, run our race and feel accomplished. But then it's like, okay, well, what's next? And so I think we're all at everyone just needs to find something that they can do that they want to keep doing. And that's my role there.
And what about the feedback loop that you get? Because I mentioned 1.2 million have watched your last video, and some people say you've changed their lives. What kind of feedback do you get?
Well, it's when you're on the internet, you will get your fair share of everyone's opinions, the good and the not so good as well. And I think it's human nature to sometimes hone in on the negative aspects. You can receive hundreds of kind comments from individuals, but sometimes just one negative comment that might call you out for, saying you look too scrawny or whatever it might be. Sometimes that can really can really stick with you. But I think that's human nature. But the overwhelming positive impact, like the positive comments absolutely outweigh the negative. And for me, being able to hear success stories from individuals that I have never met face to face ever, to to hear that you can make a positive impact on someone's life that you've never physically met is it's a pretty incredible feeling. And I'm so grateful to be alive in this day and age to be able to do that, because 20 years ago you couldn't necessarily do that.
Certainly not. No, we mentioned training tall as well, Austin. So we must address that. Why? I mean, I know, but tell the listeners.
Yeah, so when you're trying to create your own personalized brand, you try to come up with these funny names about your what to call your whatever. But myself, I am 6'8" tall, or 2 meters and 3 centimeters, and so I'm a quite taller than the average person. And so I thought training tall is a fun kind of play on that, but not necessarily about it. You don't have to be tall to follow the advice. It's more of an aim to take your fitness and health above the average, no matter how tall you are.
Yeah. What about just the practicalities of I don't want to focus on your height for the whole interview, but 6'8". I mean, you mentioned rowing machines there, that kind of thing. What about when you're using all the gym technology and things like that? I guess it's not designed for someone your height.
It's not really designed for tall people. In fact, that is actually why I've created a kind of a subset of training tall that's called Tall Fit Life, where I aim to help people that are on the higher ends of being tall, to help them feel more confident in their bodies, to find clothes that fit them, and to help them feel like they fit into a world that really wasn't designed with them in mind. But at the end of the day, no matter how tall you are, the basic and fundamental principles of exercising well to stay injury free and taking control of your nutrition, it applies pretty consistently across the board, which is great. Because that
Yeah.
way, just because I'm tall doesn't mean I can't help someone who's short also.
What, were you self-conscious as a youngster? I only asked this because I'm 6'1", but I was tall very early in life, and so I ended up trying to bend double to fit in with everybody else when I was at primary school. I was always the person who didn't have to stand on a chair on the class photo, that kind of thing.
When you're growing up, you're just I think every kid has their insecurities. But what was interesting is for me personally, I didn't really realize I was abnormally tall until I was about 14 or 15 years old. And from back then, I was involved in basketball, mainly because I was told to play basketball. Not
Yeah.
that I necessarily had a deep passion for it, but one of my big insecurities was that I was always very, very thin for my height. I became about 6'7", 6'8" around the age of 16. And at that time had only weighed about 160 pounds, which I can't do the kilograms calculation in my
That's
head, but
10 or 11 stone in our money.
yes, yes. So I was pushed around a lot in basketball. A lot of my height comes from my long neck. And so little
Yeah.
things like that, when you're younger, they can make you feel self-conscious, but then you become an adult and you realize, hey, wait a second. Everyone's got their insecurities. We're all just people trying to do our thing. And so now I'm very, very thankful for the height. I wouldn't trade it for anything. And you just have to pay the what's called tall tax every
Yeah.
once in a while,
Do you
which
know,
is
I,
small airplane seats, not fitting into most cars, and having trouble finding clothes that fit sometimes.
I,
Outside of that, it's great.
I love that phrase, the tall tax. I paid that for a certain amount of years. Funny enough, I was forced into playing basketball. I was the school basketball captain. Again, I wasn't really interested, but I was just really tall. And then, but I was fairly scrawny as well. We played one game, and the opposition took offence against me, and after the match, hung me on a coat hook and left me there.
Wow.
Yeah, but hey
Yeah,
ho.
that's that. But you found swimming for yourself, which is great. Personally, for
Yes.
me, I found the sport of rowing, which was a better fit for me, and both of those are also favor taller individuals. And so, one thing I would always recommend to parents, and this is what I would plan to do with my children in the future, is to do my best to give opportunities to explore the different sports that might fit better for them. Because I didn't really realize that rowing was going to be a sport that I actually enjoyed doing until I got to college and walked on to the team.
Austin Hendrickson's with us. Amongst other things, he does training tall, just row, and tall fit life on social media. A huge following. Austin, look, we've not got much time left now. I just wondered if people want to track you down, they can do. What could we all do tomorrow just to try and get ourselves going if we don't exercise at all at the moment?
You know, the power of getting up and going on a walk after your lunch or your dinner, a great time to pop in some headphones, or maybe, either listening to an audiobook or walk with your loved one or your friends or your pet. Even just getting daily active steps for a few minutes a day will make a monumental impact on your health long term. Sometimes we think we need to go all in order to see results, in order to be healthy, but it really is the small changes that make a huge impact long term.
Austin, great to talk to you. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thanks so much for having me.
Cheers. Top man, Austin Hendrickson there. Trying to get us fit for the new year.